reason why we lose.
Just before the beat, we turned the music off. I was quickly checking my microphone because I checked OBS. You know, I opened the the webcam. I'm in front of the webcam. I checked my audio and my audio was dead. But hey, here we are. We good now. So, what's up? How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Put it a little bit higher like this. Okay, JC, Douwe, CQ, Raymond. Welcome. Good to see you around. Ahmed Mert, good to have you here as well. How are you doing once again? Another day, another live stream. So yesterday I did one, of course, at 7 p.m. Because I could. But today at 7:15, I already do a live stream for YouTube Gold, so I can't. So therefore, I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it at 1 p.m. today. We have a normal Bitcoin update, earlier today. And we have another normal Bitcoin update at 7 p.m. And then after that, I have the gold live stream. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be on the other side of the world. So I will upload a video. And this afternoon, I will record a video to update you about what's going to happen in the upcoming 3 weeks. But in short, a little bit less content because I'll be on holiday and doing other stuff. I aim for at least one small update a day. Probably no live streams for at least public YouTube. But I will try to keep up streams for the gold members, but then on different times. And also for, of course, the updates, the silver members with the short-term updates. I'll try to continue that as much as I can. So we'll see how that works. Gabriel Chalaru, hi man, welcome. Welcome. The Contrarian, hi. Volatility today, yes, that is true. I actually wanted to speak. Wait, let me share my screen here. I actually wanted to speak about that as well. Or at least speak. Just wanted to show you 4 p.m. over here. A red flag, which means or could mean volatility. At least probabilities are high, of course, once the flag is red, that we might get some probability. So yeah, let's see. I mean, I won't be live all the way till 4 p.m. But it is good to know that we might have some volatility coming in, which might be interesting with some of the scenarios that we're looking for, right? Yo, LJ, the newest member in the YouTube Gold section. Dutch guy, Zwolle, loves cycling, mountain biking. How was your trip yesterday, by the way, on your mountain bike? I'm curious. Mountain bike, it's actually today as well. Like today it's been a bit rainy here and there, but it's a great day for mountain biking today as well. So, in today's stream, we are going through the charts, of course. We're gonna mainly zoom in locally because that's of course where it all happens. We will of course zoom out as well and at least give the probabilities of the higher time frames. But if you wait, I think in the morning update I only did the local stuff, no? So yeah, could be interesting to zoom out a little bit. But then we of course zoom into what's happening locally and what we see more locally here as well, because there were quite some updates to share between the morning video and this live stream. And then we go into chatting mode as always, right? I took it easy, but always nice to ride when the weather is good. Exactly. Gotta take the most, or gotta, get the most out of it. Retest of 26.4K and then drop to new lows. Potentially, who knows? I mean, if you would pull a volume profile of this little range and don't have extend right on, you at least have a point of control here, right? Which is at least an interesting area, but that's already, yeah, 26.4, 26.5K. Could be some resistance, but following like from an Elliott Wave point of view, I would continuation to the upside, but we're going to talk about that, especially if this remains a three-wave structure to the downside. And if we get overlap, if price is going to tick this low, you get overlap between a potential low of 1 and a potential wave 4. The only opportunity you then have is diagonals, but then a diagonal is going to be like an expanding structure, which is very rare. So that's never preferred. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down from the local top is invalid because 1 and 4 overlap. Oh, maybe on some charts you already have the overlap. Yeah, Kai-Fi might be right there. On my chart it just missed out, but you know, it's on the edge. Will you do a little video of your holiday in Africa? Would be very nice. Well, I'm not that much into vlogging. You know, like I don't have like a. So the webcam I'm using, it's just my laptop, right? Perfect scenario. Like I just have a laptop with a great webcam. But I don't have like good, like, oh, I have my phone, of course. I can record with my phone, but then I have to edit all the pieces. So what I think I will do, and I would recommend for people that want to follow my trip on the other side of the world and what I'm up to and what I'm doing, check out my Instagram. I'm mainly active on stories on Instagram, really. Compared to the posts, I actually have to do a better job with the posts. But by the way, link in the description. But yeah, on Instagram with the stories, I'll be doing stories all around. And I will, of course, also speak to the camera in the stories, besides just showing where I'm at, what we're doing. So yeah, if you want to stay up to date, make sure to check that one out. Good evening from Thailand. Holy moly. Good evening. It's good afternoon from the Netherlands, but good evening for you. Volatility around 4 p.m. Yes, that is true. Koenz break above 27K means break of the lower degree wave 4. No, wait. 27K is still fine. I think it's this one. Which, oh, so many scenarios. Which one is it? Or I may have, oh, wait, I think I actually removed the, yeah, okay, I did. So 27K is still okay for a wave 4. If you pull at least your wave 4 from this high to this low, you toggle on wave 4 for the extender 3, and then over here, 27.4K is still an area of interest for a wave 4, if this is a 1, 2, 3, long 4, 5. Starts to get pretty long for this being a wave 2 and this being a very long wave 4. So, you know, as the longer this takes, the more we have to think about potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more final move, but it will lead to downside anyway. And the targets are quite similar anyway. But 27K, you can go all the way up to 27.4 or almost 5 actually, if you take it from this high and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you take it from a high higher, then of course the fibs move as well. And then it is going to be 27.740. So that is why also with the videos, the invalidation that I show is at 28K, because it's above those areas over here. So that's an important level for the bulls, of course, right? But we'll go in more detail in a second. We always start the stream with a little bit of chatting, go into the analysis, and then we go into the chatting once again. So will do. Thanks. Good. I'll see you popping in on Instagram. Good afternoon from Germany. Welcome. And by the way, press 1 in the chat if you're going to watch the Zandvoort Grand Prix this weekend. Guys, it's in the Netherlands. It's in my home country. It's a few kilometers down the line. A lot of kilometers, because I live in South Holland, which is the province, I suppose, and they are racing in the North Holland. So, oh, well, that's something else. No idea. Oh, wait, I think I checked that website once because we were traveling for safety stuff when it was COVID. So, the Grand Prix, right, is over here. Zandvoort, right? It's there. This is the Grand Prix, right? And my ass, I'm living here, right? Gouda, that's my place. I used to live in Amsterdam, by the way, so that was like around the corner. But last year we moved to Gouda. So, you know, it's not too big of a distance, but hey, the Netherlands is very small. So I can go there in a nutshell. I already saw many people. I was traveling today to my parents up and down, and many people in orange in the trains already. LJ1, Pahalia1, Christian M1. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Formula One, gotta love it. It's free practice now, so I will excuse you if you're not watching because you're watching Formula One, right? Like watching this stream, that is. Okay, let's have a look at the chart and then zoom into what's happening locally because that is actually quite interesting. So, very quick, top down, as we in general like to do. So, let me get my scenarios up here, up. Nice and well organized. What's this? Oh, wait, this is the one that I was looking for. I see. Oh, well. Okay. So for the bullish scenario, right? You want this to be the low because, you know, else you're going to get into the more bearish scenario anyway if you go and take this lows. But then you want this to be the low. But there's a bit of a problem here because then you're going to be looking for a zigzag. And as recently explained in a video, unless you are new, I will repeat this very quickly. That's why I like to go from like a top-down analysis, right? Wave Y is then a zigzag, but wave W is also a zigzag. And in a sideways double combo, you don't want the wave W and the wave Y to be the same structure. That's very, very low probability. If wave W is a zigzag, you want wave Y to either be a triangle or a flat. Well, it's clearly not a triangle, and it's clearly not some sort of a flat. So that gives low probabilities to this scenario. However, if we put this wave X to the left, you could potentially think this is a flat. You can see that wave C is very much out of structure, though. It's very, very long and big compared to a short A and B. But the main issue with this being a wave C from this high down is that it's not yet finished then, because then you're going to be counting this as at least another leg down in a 5-wave move to the downside, which means this is not going to be a low for this bullish scenario. You're going to take this low and then you automatically get into the medium time frame bearish scenario I have anyway. So yeah, the bullish scenario at the moment doesn't look too great. Also from a probabilities point of view, if we look at this being a 3-wave, just, you know, because we can at least analyze it, 535 to the downside, can't really count a 5-wave finish structure very nicely here. Hit the 1.618, which is a rare target for C, common target for a wave 3 in potentially an impulse to the downside. But the main issues start to arise very, very locally. So over here we are on the 1 hour. There we go. If you're bullish and you want to see more upside, you definitely want price to go to 28k. This is then going to be very likely your wave 1 because this is the low. So you then have a wave 1, 2 looking for upside. Now this wave 2 is already very, very long. Osgur, woi, that's the start of the stream. Holy moly, welcome. Welcome, man. Upgrade. I will give you access to all the gold related stuff coming in like after the live stream, which the stream will be about an hour. But welcome, man. Really appreciate your support. Welcome to the group. We got a great group of golds as well as silvers, of course. So yeah, appreciate you joining, man. Welcome. That's amazing. A new member. There we go. Before the weekend. Where were we? Right, we were in this particular scenario. So wave 1, wave 2, and then 1, 2 continuation. By the way, Oscar, make sure to send me an email with the details that I ask for in the members post on YouTube in the community section, but also in the join video, like the join member video. So the problem with this scenario at the moment, or the probabilities, is that this second wave 1, because we're looking for green 1, green 2, and then a green 3, and inside the green 3, we are looking for another 5-wave move, which is then the blue count. But this second wave 1 is already longer in time than the potential first wave 1 over here. As you can see, this is just like basically one candle, and this is many candles. It's not really what you want to see. Preferably, you see something like this, where the second wave 1 and the second wave 2 are shorter in time and price, creating a diagonal. And also, you want then to see the second wave 1 take the first wave 1, which is not the case because that low over here, or that high, is lower than the first high. So it doesn't look too great. This then has to be a wave 1, a wave 2. Over here, you want to see continuation, right? So currently, the probabilities are towards, or geared towards, the more bearish scenarios, where we are eventually still looking for a move to the downside. Interesting area over here, this target area for potential C in a 5-wave to the downside is between 23.4k and 22k, where we also have some additional support around the 22k area. So that is quite interesting. We have to, of course, wait and see how price reacts in this area, right? As I always say, we don't FOMO, YOLO, or catch knives. We wait over here, and only when you see what you want to see can you enter potential positions, right? Reactive trading, based on your plan, by the way, of course, and your strategy. So over here, wait for maybe a reaction, market structure change, RSI divergences, stochastic, MACD, CVD, like candlestick patterns, whatever you use for your confluence to potentially enter anywhere, of course, on the chart, but also in this area. Now, I've spoken about this low for a while. Probabilities are also high to take this low at least because Bybit has already done so, but many other charts did not. And the probabilities are very high that all the different charts take the same high time frame high or low, this being a high time frame low over here. So the probabilities are very high that eventually all the other charts will also take this low. Not that Bybit is the only one, maybe with a few others, to take this low and the rest just does this, right? So that also gives a bit more probabilities to the downside, where, well, you know, we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but if this takes too long, a potential wave 3 is already in. But what I think from a trading psychology point of view might be interesting is if this is a 1, 2, and they have a 3, with then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing the blue 3 after taking this low, you wick the low and you move up. And the move up can make people potentially bullish again. But then it's a wave 4 for another drop to the downside. So you catch out the early bulls, the early buyers buying this move over here. You bait them, move to the downside, stop them out. Then price moves to the downside. People get very bearish. They're selling, potentially, you know, trading psychology point of view. People get bearish, 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 la-di-la-di-la. Oh, we broke market structure. We took this low. Price is moving to the downside. We're in a downtrend now. Sell, 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 bam, to the upside. No? That could be very interesting from a trading psychology point of view. And if we zoom in to the 1 hour, then we were looking for this scenario, which worked out very well. It's just that the rejection we got so far does not yet imply a very impulsive structure to the downside. It can, of course, still happen, but what we were looking for was then a three-wave structure, which resulted in a WXY, where this was an area we were looking for over here for a potential rejection. We had a target area here as well, an area of interest, one of the target boxes that I like to use, and price rejected in this area. We had some bearish CVD divergences locally on the 3-minute. Also here, price moving down. These already played out, right? So when did it start? About 15 minutes ago, I went live with my face on the camera. Welcome, Ari. And Liquid Mafia, welcome as well. Bledu, Ramstad, happy Friday, mate. So we were looking for a rejection in this area, potentially. Now, we got some signs, right? Over here, perfect rejection, bearish CVD, all the good stuff. Price moving down, nice. The problem is that if we are looking for that impulse to the downside in a wave 5, we want to see 5 wave structures in each of these moves to the downside. And as explained yesterday, the main issue I have, and also in the morning video, is this move here. Very much like a 3-wave structure. I can't really count a wave 4 and a 5. This over here is too long for a wave 4 compared to this, but mainly there's overlap as well. It's very much 3-wavy, you know. If you look at it, you can look at it and you probably get the same feeling, which therefore, during the live stream, actually partially, as well as talking in the silver update section, I was thinking about this scenario, right, where you have a W, X, and then still a 3-wave Y to go to higher levels. You grab the high and the liquidity above W, potentially hit the monthly at 27.2K, and then you reject. Now we have the weekend coming up, so we, you know, potentially thinking about weekend and ranges. Over here, this was also a 3-wave structure, or well, 5 if you call it an ABC. Then 1, 2, 3, very short 4, 5. You could potentially have a move up, range, 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 and continuation after the weekend. We have to wait and see. But this is an important area if price moves towards the upside. What I would like to see more locally, though, is potentially grabbing the double bottom that I have on the chart at 25.8K. So price moved down, right? This was like very much a 3-wave structure. So that's why I'm looking at potentially a double zigzag move, where this is zigzag number 1, zigzag 2. It's a bit longer, but some sort of a corrective structure. We are at support for a potential 3 wave. These fibs are taken from the high of A to the low to this high over here, and you can see perfect support. Very nice indeed. And we've been ranging here for a while now. So personally, what I think would be interesting is that if price can manage to take this low and then move up, that would be something I would be looking for from an Elliott Wave point of view, and just generally what we see locally with some divergences going on that I show in a second. So definitely, like, you know, potential X, potential 3 wave to the upside as shown the past few days, or at least yesterday during the stream as well, and in the morning update. Where this is an interesting area for support. We are at support here. The target box also yesterday in the stream, right, mentioned we have the golden pocket, range value area low, and we have this low, which now is a double bottom. So potentially price moving down, grab the liquidity, wick it, close above, then move to the upside. That's something to potentially look for depending on the reaction that we get. If price does this, you know, there's nothing going on, but depending on the reaction, it can be very interesting. No? So that is something I'm looking for. Now, more locally, we at least found support at the target area, but we do have some bearish CVD divergences. So first of all, price moving down, right? And the first thing I saw is we have a little bit of a green candle. It's an order block here, and we have bearish CVD with this green candle. Now, as I always say, I prefer looking on the right side of a new low. So this is the low, and I look here. Those are preferred and have priority, but I at least think about, okay, lower high over here, but on the yellow line we have with this CVD line here, higher high, so potentially bearish. However, we got bullish CVD, higher low in price, but on yellow over here, lower low on the CVD with this low. That's a bullish CVD divergence, price moving up, very nice. But what then happened is the yellow line turned from bullish into now a bearish CVD, lower high on price, but as you can see here, higher high on the CVD. And then even more locally, this is where it gets confusing, higher low in price, you know, lower lows on the CVD. So it's difficult to know exactly what is going on, right? From a probabilities standpoint, the one that appears first, statistically, has the higher probability of playing out. But now that you are over here ranging for a while and you have bearish CVD divergences, that's of course not ideal. The ideal scenario is that you have a bullish CVD divergence, price moves up, but you will never see potential bearish CVD divergences, right? It just moves, it just goes. So it's a bit of a, you know, maybe a head scratcher. We just wait patiently because potential entries were at the low here anyway, because this is now a mixed area. We have both bearish and bullish stuff going on, right? So there's more risk. Depends on your risk appetite and also your strategy, of course, because you have to follow your own plan. But yeah, a potential move down, grab the liquidity, and then a move up could be interesting. In general, this support resistance area has been very, very important. And once again, it has been very important. So yeah, this is what I'm looking for at the moment. This is what I am seeing locally over here. And during this time that we're live, let's see if something happens. Now, of course, we have 4 p.m. Central East European time, the news over here with Powell speaking. The red flag, no idea, by the way. I've never seen a picture of him, really. I don't follow news, but a red flag means volatility. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on. And then we wait and see. I won't be live till 4 p.m., but at least you guys know now. Central European time. Okay, Jay. Okay. Shit, I made the same mistake, eh? Central European time. It's not Central East European time. Oh, we noticed that in the live stream yesterday. So yeah, that is the analysis. That is what we're looking for locally. And yeah, that is from an Elliott Wave perspective. Currently, so from a probabilities point of view, on the low time, or like if we go up in the time frames, we still expect another drop. But more locally, just because this looks so 3 wavy, probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view, for me, are still higher to potentially see another move to the upside, just because this looks so 3 wavy. Because if we are looking for a wave 5, we want to see impulses like 5 wave structures, or in an ending diagonal, or this is then a leading diagonal, sorry, in a leading diagonal wave 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 for lower prices. A 3 wave is allowed, and then you want zigzags everywhere, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. But preferably a diagonal is a contracting structure and not a expanding structure. And if we take the channel from this high over here to like so far at the moment, we touched both sides of the trend line, also with the range here. So at the moment, we don't really have anything contracting going on, right? So something to keep in mind. The only contracting diagonal that I could make is that this by itself is a zigzag. But then the problem is it's a 5-3-5. But over here, how do you count this as a 5-wave structure, right? That's what the whole reason that scenario exists is because this looks so much like a 3-wave structure, you know? So, and that's also what impacts the probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view to potentially look for another move up, just because this move is 3 waves. Again, it's all about probabilities. There is no certainties in trading, but this is definitely an interesting scenario. And potentially you could say we have a double top with this high and this high over here. And the point of control of the range, indeed, robot, is also here. So we're currently ranging around the point of control. We didn't yet touch the value area low. That would be nice. So yeah, for the people that were here for the analysis, that was kind of the analysis. And now we go into chatting, right? Answering questions, whatever you have, bring it in. And I'll be here to try and help you answer questions, you know, share my knowledge, whatever it is. So let's have a look. Let me scroll up a little bit. And Anthony Gray, your favorite cheese is Gouda. Well, you'll be very, very happy visiting my town, like my city here, where I live at the moment. Lots of cheese. Like recently, I was in Gouda city center, and I was in a cheese store because we were buying cheese for the South African family of my fiance as we go to South Africa tomorrow. And they had beer tasting cheese, you know, like garlic with tomato and I don't know what cheese and sambal cheese and the, you know, whatever, like lots of cheese. It's incredible. Osgur, again, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. Is there any possibility you see which Bitcoin has started a 5-wave move, which will be wave 1 to the downside? Oh, I think, is there any possibility you see Bitcoin already started a 5-wave move, which will be a wave 1? So then you are talking about this being the high and a potential 5-wave move. Of course, absolutely. Then we shouldn't zoom in here and just accept this is a 5-wave structure. And then you want to have this as either a zigzag wave 1, for then a 3-wave 2, 3-wave 3, 4, and then 5. And then you get a diagonal, right? And then you go into a wave 2 and then continuation down. So they have a 1, 2 down, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this scenario, it's important you don't have overlap with this low. However, because we do zoom in here and it looks like a 3-wave structure, probabilities are not yet really on the side for a potential wave 5, like the beginning of a wave 5, but we continue to observe, right? We always have to react on price. Liquid Mafia, welcome again, by the way, mate. Always nice. Liquid Mafia is like one of the OGs as well. Do you mind explaining your experience how Elliott Wave provides a bias? Because when spoken about probabilities, you can probabilistically say that price does not have to follow the rules of Elliott Wave, more so the opposite. And hey, Koenz, on bad internet today. Is Liquid Mafia on bad internet, or do I have bad internet? So yeah, probabilities in Elliott waves are based on the rule. This is going to be very theoretic, right? So Elliott waves has an incredible amount of rules. And once you learn Elliott waves at the beginning, it is very, very difficult to know, first of all, what you're doing, how you're counting, and also to give probabilities to scenarios, because you might not yet have the experience to have the, you know, the right insights, right counts, know all the different rules and all that sort of stuff. But once you get to a certain level in counting and using Elliott waves, then you know that if you have a bullish count like this, and you have a bearish count like this one over here with a finished Y, or the other one for more downside, purely based on the rules of Elliott waves, you can give probabilities to the different scenarios. because the one probability accepts more rules than the other one, right? So in this scenario, the problem here is this wave 1 not going above the first wave 1, for example. Wave 2 hit the 886, which is rare for a wave 2, so you need to know the probabilities, right? 886 is rare for a wave 2. Second wave 1 not going above the first wave 1. Second wave 1 being longer in time than the first wave 1, right? Couple of probabilities that don't match up with a nice impulsive structure. This wave 2 being like, I don't know, 50 times the size of this wave 1. You see where I'm going? And then if we look at a more bearish scenario, you know, because the bullish one fits not as nicely, bearish scenarios, or I should say in this case corrective structures, can be a lot more, how should I say that, complex in their counting. So over here, this structure to the upside can perfectly well fit with this being a wave W over here. There is a 3 wave in this structure to the upside, but that is allowed in a WXY where wave Y is longer than a wave W over here, right? It's just a probabilities game. Same with here, because this move to the downside is a 3 wave structure. By the looks of it, based on Elliott waves, based on the wave structures forming, probabilities decrease for us looking for an impulse unless it is a diagonal. But you know, I kept an eye on a diagonal, but then in a diagonal you want to see this being your first wave, because it looks very much like a 3 wave on the lower time frame. So that is then your wave 1. Then you wanted a diagonal or a zigzag wave 2, and then you want a zigzag wave 3. But this is already too long now and leads to an expanding structure, which is rare and therefore lower probabilities, right? So just because this 3 wave structure, probabilities then increase for price to still find more upside. So it's giving probabilities to Elliott waves is like having a patient coming to you as a doctor and you try to figure out what's wrong, what's the problem. There are so many different scenarios, like, oh, I have a headache and I'm sick and I'm nauseous, but then you as a doctor, you know, and I have pain here. But if you have pain in your left shoulder, it might not be a shoulder problem, it might be a heart problem, right? Because it's one of the signs. But what you have to do is you need all the knowledge of the human body, medicine, all the shit and the problems and the medication, and based on the questions you ask and based on your analysis of the patient. I used to study medicine, so this is why I use this as an example, by the way. So based on your analysis, to use terms in Elliott waves, of the patient, you can scrap certain diagnoses because they have a lower probability, and some other diagnoses might have a higher probability based on your analysis of the patient. And based on your analysis, you then either send the patient home, give medication, or you forward them to another doctor for more specialized care, right? So with Elliott waves, it's exactly the same. A lot of different rules. The chart is our patient. We are analyzing our patient here. And based on our analysis, we can give probabilities because we know the rules. We know the body, right? We know the human body. This is the thing that's alive. The chart is alive, right? The chart is the human body in this case. We know the waves, we know the rules, we know Elliott waves. We have all that knowledge cropped up, and based on what we read, what we see, the signs that it's showing us, you know, the pains and the headaches and whatever it is, we can then assess probabilities to the scenarios. That is, I guess, the most simplistic way for me to explain how probabilities in Elliott waves work, really. So yeah, I hope that's a sufficient answer for you. Nick Hopton, welcome. Ari, of course. Gabriel, for me, this is wave 1 from 31K towards 23K. Then wave 2 retraced 28K, wave 3 below 16K. Okay, so you are already looking for much more bearish targets. That is possible. That can be a potential scenario that is extremely alternative for me at the moment, because then this is your high. But the probabilities are very low at the moment still for this to be the high. It's more likely this is the high of the impulse. But in both cases, probabilities-wise, you expect a dip nonetheless. Then you expect a move up. And this is what will decide what happens next. So... and also, if you're looking, of course, for a move to the downside, then this impulse over here, this whole structure, has to be part of an ABC, because this is then a wave C for you, and you're going to be looking for downside. Because with this high, you can't use this for a zigzag. This can't be a zigzag. I've seen people counting this as a like that, as a zigzag, which for me does not make sense, because this structure over here is not a valid 5-wave move from this low to this high because of this horizontal structure. And everyone that counts this as a wave 1 and this as a wave 4, there's overlap between 1 and 4. It's not a diagonal, invalidates an impulse, right? So, or lowers the probabilities. So I don't count it like a zigzag structure, but especially because over here this high took this high, you can't really have a zigzag anymore anyway, unless this is now an ABC. Then you're going to be looking for a WXY. But then again, this being a wave C and a zigzag for me does not make sense based on what we have over here in this move to the upside, based on the rules, right? So because there's overlap over here, and this wave 2 or wave 4 is extremely long in time to this 1 candle wave 2. I mean, it's all probabilities, I suppose. But if this is your high of a wave 5, the only potential count I have is then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then wave 4 is very long compared to this very short wave 2. So that's something to keep into account. But also, if this is your wave C and this is your A and B, then this wave C is extremely high. Very high, very long in time for an expanding flat wave C. Usually an expanding flat wave C is the shorter structure of A, B, and C. They tend to be very quick. So the probabilities are higher based on the length over here, the length in price, the length in time, that this is the beginning of something in potentially a bigger 3-wave or a new bullish, 1, 2, and then continuation in a 3. But by all means, we take it step by step. We're first looking for a move down, then we get a reaction up, and if this is a clear 3-wave corrective structure, we can expect another move down. If this is going to be an impulse, we expect continuation up. The last count has a nice parallel channel. It does. Perfect scenario for some fuckery during the news event later today. Take highs, take lows. Yeah, I mean, it's the it is the trading psychology type of stuff, right? So first, let's see if the bullish divergences that appeared first in this structure after the low was made, if they're going to play out and take this high. So as mentioned, the first divergence that comes into play after a new low or high has been made has the highest probability of playing out, because it's always probability, it's not a certainty. So if price can take this high, those probabilities come in fruition, but we very likely then have overlap with this structure as well. So then we can't count this as a 5-waver. The move from 26.5 to 25.850 is a 5 waves. From 26.5, from here to 25.850, that's here. So it must be a wave C. Yeah, or you're going to be looking for a potential double zigzag type of structure. But that's true. So actually someone asked me this in Discord. Let me show this. Well, up. So over here, Crazy G, also known as Florian Sauer on YouTube. He might be here. I'm actually not sure. But he sent me a picture, which was this. And he had a question, which of course you can read here. And he had basically the same question, like, hey, this is a 3-wave structure, but how do we count this, right? So I replied shortly, like, okay, or he said, what are the options, right? So I said, okay, because the first structure down is a 3-waver. So first of all, because the first structure down is a 3-waver, or at least we can't speak in certainties, because it looks like a 3-wave structure, we don't have to necessarily count all the other stuff in detail, because only because of this first move, probabilities are higher for price to at least make a bit of a move to the upside still, right? Without even going in detail here. However, the options that you have are a WXY, double or triple zigzags, which means 535 structures, or a failed flat B. Now, I rarely ever talk about failed flats, but they are there. And a failed flat means that one of the waves of a flat is not according to the rules of a flat. It's very rare, usually happens in very strong trends. If ever, right? But yeah, you barely ever hear me talk about filled flats, and then this would be a filled flat B, where wave B did not retrace high enough, but you still get a 5-wave move to the downside. But that, you know, that's rare in general. When in you're from Durban. I've been to Durban when I was backpacking in 2017, from Johannesburg to Cape Town. I go to Cape Town. That's where the family of my fiance lives and where she grows up, where she grew up. Wait, no, Koenz, I'm talking about the move start. Yes, the move started at 31.8k, which is this high, no? That's what we were talking about. If this is the thing is, if you count this as the end of a structure and you now count an impulse to the downside and you're going to be looking for 9k, the whole thing I just explained about this move up is relevant. You can't just start counting here and be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and we go to 9k, because this high comes after a big move. You have to count this move to the upside in detail, in probabilities of, is this a wave C, wave A, or a wave 1, or do you count a zigzag, which for me is very unlikely in general. And based on your analysis of this being a C, A, or 1, you can then give probabilities to, you know, this high. But you can't just start counting on a random pivot on the chart and be like, we go, you know. So based on everything I explained, with this potentially being like, you know, the ABC for me is incredibly unlikely, like low probabilities. Higher probabilities, this is the beginning of something. So an A or a 1, and then we're looking for a corrective structure. So we have to, of course, wait patiently what price gives us. But yeah, you have to count this in detail to then know what this can be and what the follow-up might be. This can also still be a potential, of course, 3-wave structure, which if I go to my high time frame, but that's also still something far away. Like we are going to have so many more days and weeks of price action. So potentially you can have a 3 and then a, like, you know, potentially a flat 3, 3, 5 to have a W, then you get an X and then you get a Y. That would be a very long sideways correction, which is at the moment alternative because, you know, it's way too early to call. But I have my 1 or A on this pivot here. Head and shoulders pattern needs the last right shoulder. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. That could be potentially. So, of course, in a head and shoulders pattern, you can take the low. So that could be quite interesting, no? Then you have this low over here. And then you get maybe a bit this, move down, you grab it, you go back up, create a shoulder, dip down. What happens? Everyone goes short, the breakout shortest, the pattern shortest, you know, all that stuff. And then they short, boom. How nice would that be, no? Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Oh, Liquid Mafia has the bad internet. Good analogy. Yeah. I mean, I had to quickly think about your question, Liquid Mafia. Like, you know, how can I explain Elliott waves and probabilities in the best way possible? Well, I guess my experience in the hospital paid off. My study paid off. I use it now for trading. Mark Dutch, hey Koen, I would love to see you doing a collab with Andy Bitcoin Census. I don't know who that is yet. Who is that? And the Bitcoin. I have no idea who this is. Andy, there he is. There he is. Become a better trader with Andy's Legends community. Oh, I should check out some of it. What does he do? Like, what's his way of trading? I don't think it's Elliott waves, no? It's probably other stuff. But it could be fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very... Okay. He has more videos. I was like, wait, he's only active for 1 month and he has 67k subs. I do something wrong. But he has more, of course. Yeah, looks good. I mean, I'm open to anything, really. But I can imagine, you know, he has 67k. Yesterday, someone asked, hey, Koen, you know, you want to do a collab with MCO? I'm like, you know, I'm open to be, you know, have a live stream with any of them, have a bit of a chat, you know, like it would be great fun. Meet some people in the industry that way as well. Share some ideas, share some knowledge or stories. But you know, he has 67k subs, MCO is 141, and then there's Koen with 3.7k. So I don't know if you know, we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. But yeah, I'm very much open to any collabs, and it would be great fun. I love learning from other people, other ways of analysis, the way they look at the charts, what they are using to trade as well, the way they're trading. You know, is it very structured or more like spontaneous based on order flow and whatnot? Like, yeah, first of all, as a trader, we should always respect someone else's way of doing analysis and their way of trading. And secondly, it's important to always keep learning, either about technical analysis or yourself, meaning your mindset in trading. Hey, Mark Dutch, what's up, bro? Yeah, there we go. All the Dutchies here. No? Come on, slap a like, everybody. MacBurger Dog Sport, also one of the more recent members joining. Welcome, man. Yo, have you seen Dog Daddy, by the way? Like the guy that is so incredibly good in training dogs. I mean, the Dog Sport MacBurger, you must know Dog Daddy, no? Like he's a damn celebrity nowadays. He walks around with bodyguards and his 15 dogs. It's incredible. Any confluence to the golden pocket fib from the high? Like, depends on what high, but if you mean this high, then yes, we do have golden pocket confluence, because inside this golden pocket, we have the point of control of this range over here. So there's definitely confluence in this area. So the area around 26.4, 26.5k is an area to keep an eye on. I actually didn't, I could actually make this a target box. I missed this in my morning analysis. So, you know, it's a nice little bit of, 1 second, nice little bit of confluence. And there might be other things, but at least this is nice, right? So there we go. It's on the chart. Bleduramstad, thank you, Koen. Safe travels. Thanks, man. Damian Vejnovic, damn, I'm late. You're never late, man. You're right on time, but you did miss the beginning, which was the analyzing part, right? But you can always go back in the live stream. If from 23k, we are only 23k, we have only 3 waves up. At 28k, then increase the probability. Yes, that's true, Gabriel. Well, if we go up so imagine, right? If we go down to what you say 23k, right? So if we go here, right, and this is then a 5-wave move. That's what we're looking for. Many people actually like impulsive structure. Imagine you get a bounce here that is going to be a 3-wave structure. Can be a zigzag, which is important because then wave C can also be a wave 3. We have to look at the volume and stuff. But if it's more complex, you know, then higher probabilities it is corrective. That does not yet mean we go to 9k, right? Because it can also be a bigger corrective structure, which just explained on the high time frame over here, where this as a potential flat can only be a wave W, then you get a wave X, and then you get a wave Y. So it's a very long sideways WXY. Flat, X can be anything, and then Y in either a zigzag or a triangle preferably. So the thing is, we can have ideas from an Elliott Wave perspective, but the lower time frames will decide the higher time frames. So we do have scenarios on all different time frames, but we can't talk certainties that if this is going to be a 3-wave, we go to new lows, because this being a 3-wave can also still be bullish for another 3-wave and then a continuation. It all depends on, you know, on this wave up and then the potential wave down, which we don't yet have that information, so it's too early to call. So we can speculate, we can have the ideas in our minds, we can have the ideas on the chart so that we are prepared, because trading is a lot about preparation. And then whenever the moment comes, we can get our analysis back on the chart and see if it, like, if price agrees with what we thought it would do. Enjoy Cape Town. It's amazing. Thanks. Yeah, it is amazing. I've been to Cape Town, I don't know, 7 or 8 times now, I would think. I delete all corrective structures. It will be 1 now. Possibly. Would be interesting to see, like, Look, locally, I would personally really like to take the double bottom. You know, get the double bottom over here, look for the reaction that we get. If there's no reaction, you know, lower prices, potential swing failure pattern type of move, look for upside. First resistance area is there, 26.5, you know. How you feel on ocean? You mean the coin or in the ocean? I'm not really a deep sea swimmer type of guy, you know. I like to I'm Ashley, my fiance, is already laughing. So I don't mind swimming. But I don't, you know, I like to, I love surfing. I go surfing and my feet cannot touch the sand if I go surfing. I'm in the waves. But you won't really find me in the middle of an ocean. I like to know what's below me, kind of. Like, you know. Have I swim in dark blue water? Yes. Is it my preferred scenario, talking Elliott Wave terms? No, not really. Do I love fishing? Yes. Man, with a friend of my fiance called Dolan, man, I love to go fishing. He is a fishing fanatic, and we always go fishing in the ocean or the river, depends, but ocean mostly. And we catch sand sharks and stingrays. Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. Darpan Patel, hi. Is it possible if price moves now up to 26,326? So that is this area here. Then drop, take the lows locally at 25.8. 25.8. Around the value area low before back up to 27K. I think your time argument might be valid, because if this is a three waver and potentially a zigzag, you're going to be looking for a wave W, X, and then a big Y in a potential double zigzag. Is it possible? Yes. Yeah, I mean, then you go into like the double zigzag type of territory. You're going to be looking for this in a 535 potentially. The big issue is like, or the big thing is, this structure looks so much like a three-wave structure that. So here's maybe a little bit of insight in how so we can of course count this structure in detail, right? We can try to count this range, count this move down, which might look impulsive, right? 1, 2, potential 3, 4, 5 here, right? But because this is so much like a three-wave structure, I don't really care too much about counting this structure or speculate about what's happening here. So either we are right on this being a 3, we maybe like catch the lows and move up. But if you move, so this is the thing. I don't need to know all the counts. I need to know the probabilities. If we're looking for an impulse, for example, we don't want to see overlap with this low over here, which almost happened, right? You don't want to see price now before moving down. You don't want to see it move up and take this. Even though in a 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want wave 1 to be an impulse, and it looks very much like a 3-wave, which therefore means that, you know, I don't really care about counting this in detail or looking for up, down. I think based just on, you know, CVD divergences, we have some bearish ones as well building in this area. A double low is always interesting because double tops and double bottoms are like magnets for price. So is it possible to move up and down again? Yes. It's difficult to find a proper scenario for this because of, like, you know, time-wise. But if this is, because the thing is, if this is a 3, you're going to be thinking either a WXY or a failed flat ABC, which then is your first structure in a W, then your second structure in an X, and then a third structure in a wave Y. Grabbing the low, moving to the upside. Takes a bit of time, but that is a possible scenario. But again, a failed flat is rare. So yeah, we just remain patient. So that's also with Elliott Waves. We don't have to try and count all the micro moves, right? Yeah, we just, this structure here already gives you probabilities for everything that comes after. Also, by the way, if we are looking, this is something I shared in Silver this morning. So if we are looking for a move to the upside, and this is, you know, a 5-wave structure, either a zigzag or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a wave A. What you want to see from the low are impulses, preferably, right? But so far, this doesn't look impulsive. Increasing probabilities to potentially come down again, grab the low, and then get a move up, potential impulse. So this first move looks 3 waves. This first move does not look like an impulse. So if this is then a wave A, 5 waves B, and you want to see a wave C, you want to start with an impulse, but you don't yet have an impulse, increasing probabilities to maybe visit the lows once again, before then maybe starting an impulse. So without counting everything here, or without caring much about what's happening here, we can still give probabilities to the scenarios just based on the structures that we're looking at, right? Like that start a new move. And he's a great guy. I'm his moderator, so I might be able to arrange something. Yeah, Mark Dutch. Yeah, look at him go. Look at him go. You're his moderator. Give him my greetings. What country is he from, Andy? Like, what's his background? I'm curious. I will check him up on YouTube. I got the tab open of his channel, so I'll make sure to check him out as well. Looks like a great guy. So could be fun. Could be fun. Absolutely. Quickly have a little look. What's happening now? Still got the bearish CVD, which counters the bullish one. So that is why over here, this is like, a very mixed area. First, we had the bullish CVD divergences when this low was made, potential opportunity. Then price moves up. You start to also see bearish ones, more risk, right, in this area to either go long or short, because you don't know. We got CVD divergences both sides. If you use CVD, if you don't, you might have other technical analysis to make decisions, of course. He is support resistance, open close. Man, I have to keep up with chat. Let me quickly actually go through this. He is support resistance, open close, pattern trader. Oh, that's interesting. That's absolutely interesting. Support resistance, I also always have at least a support resistance. Like this area is support resistance. I don't trade it. I don't use it in my entry requirements, but it is additional confluence. Absolutely, like for just counting and important levels on the chart. What is the most probable Bitcoin move next, according to you? Well, most depending on the reaction, I would love to see the double bottom wicked, close above, looking for upside. Could be a swing failure pattern type of trade. I would very much like to highlight that everything I say is no financial advice by all means. You click the button. I don't care if you lose or you win. It's up to you to have a profitable strategy at the end of the day. I hope you win, but I don't care if you do or not. You don't have to thank me if you do. You don't have to be angry if you don't, because, I just park it. It goes out the window. I don't care. However, a potential setup here is if you get a wick, close above, you could get a swing failure pattern type of move where if price moves up, preferably impulsively, you could be looking for higher prices. If, however, you start to see signs against it, of course, trade management is key, potential stop losses break even. A great setup that appeared here was exactly like that. So we had this double bottom, first of all, low 1, oh, that's a pitchfork, we don't need a pitchfork, low 1, low 2, and those lows got wicked with this candle over here, right? Price moved up, very nice, right? Profit. But then over here, price stopped. And on the lower time frames, the 3-minute, bearish CVD divergences came into play. Trade management wise, good to put it at least in a little bit of profit, if not break even, and then you get stopped at break even or stopped in profit. And then the second low that we were looking for, because that's what we mentioned in the updates at the time, was this one. And here again, wick the low, so you get another swing failure pattern type opportunity. You got to move to the upside, you got the continuation. We also had a support box over here, a target box, which I now removed because, we tested it, it's in the past. Continuation, beautiful, no? So those can be very effective if they fit your plan, but know what you're doing, know what you're doing. And first, we have to wait and see what price does. We have bullish CVD divergences, and from a statistical point of view, the divergences that appear first after a new high or low is made get priority of playing out, meaning taking this high. We do also have bearish CVD divergences after this move to the upside started. So if one entered here, trade management, whatever you do. Maybe you keep your stop loss here, maybe you park at break even. Who knows? For me, this is a no entry zone here. We're in the middle of this range as well. We have both bearish and bullish CVDs now. Patience. Ahmed Merit, Koenz with 3.7k is far better than all of them. Thank you. But I think everyone has their own speciality. Everyone has their own. They all put their own sauce on the chart. There's this other guy that is incredibly analytic. He has his own systems and his own stuff, and it's like he's almost like a researcher on Bitcoin, and he makes videos a lot. I forgot his name. I watched him in the past sometimes. I forgot. I don't know, but he has all his own indicators and systems, and it's fascinating. If I read the name, I'll immediately know. He recently started to use Elliott Wave analysis. I think he's learning from me. Well, Andy, if you're watching, I hope you're gonna do great things with Elliott Waves. And if you need anything or you want to know more, hit me up. I'll be able to help you out. Robot, I know Dog Daddy. Well, there you go. Dog Daddy, yeah, it's a cool guy. You swim with stingrays. I mean, I've swam with stingrays once in Indonesia, the very big ones. But we don't catch the 2 meter wide span, the very wide ones, right? We catch the small ones. What's the trading psychology behind double tops and bottoms? Is because there's liquidity, and trading is a lot about the chart looking for liquidity. So that's the psychology. It's about filling the pockets of bigger traders because there's liquidity here. Potential longs put their stop loss here, they put their stop loss here, but people that trade potentially support resistance or retail, they think, hey, we got support here. And if that support breaks because we go below, they might short, but the shorts get absorbed besides the liquidity of stops getting absorbed as well, and you return to the upside. Can I join the Discord? Link in the description. If you can't enter, I have to unban you because your account is likely less than 3 days old, which is against scammers. But I will do that manually. And with the weekend approaching, we could go sideways. Yes. Have heard Mike Dutch before on Traders Reality. Well, I don't. I've actually, Sidioms, welcome, by the way. Nice emote. I never actually checked Traders Reality before you guys mentioned the vector candles, so I have to do that. But I know Mike. If we talk about the same Mike, that is with the bald guy, the guy that used to be an artist in the Netherlands, like the Trader Mike. I know him not as a person, but I just know who he is. And he is from Mallorca. Jeez, English mother, so he can actually understand what he's saying. Gamer. I'm a gamer as well. Well, I don't really play too many games anymore, but I used to be a professional gamer, so hey, I mean, I had my fair share of sitting behind the PC with my controller. Let me show you my controller, by the way. This controller went all over the world and got me some nice prize money, as well as a 3rd place at the World Championships. The reason I use these tops, right? I play on PC, but with a controller. Trackmania is the game for the ones that want to know more. Trackmania. I play with these little things because, especially if you play on stages in front of audiences, you're nervous, it's sweaty, all the lights, all the heat. So what then happens is your thumbs get sweaty and you need grip. And these are silicon grips on top of the sticks, which give you more grip if you start sweating, which is very interesting. They already have good grip, but then it just sticks, which is important, especially in a racing game where things can go south very quickly. KG says RVV, they are magnets because, well, there you go. KG gives the answer. I'm late. I should invite KG in a live stream once as well. KG is great in Elliott Waves himself. Always love to see his counts in the group. Mr. Bullseye. Hey, Mark Dutch. Everyone knows Mark Dutch as well. Look at him go. Look at him go. That's great, man. And also, there's actually so many Dutchies, not only here in the live stream, but in general in trading as well. Maybe because I'm Dutch, they find you. But in Discord as well. KG is one. Mark Dutch, of course, many more. Hey, mate, what's up? Edward Park, How you doing? Welcome again. If in 2 minutes we close above 2640, probabilities we continue short-term up. Wait, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't see the time of your message, but it must be more than 2 minutes ago, and we did close above 26,040. But locally, we did have, as mentioned, in the analysis bit at the beginning of the stream, in this little range, some bullish CVD divergences, higher low in price, lower low on blue and on yellow, which now has played out because price now took this high. So the local bullish divergence is now neutralized, right? Because now price took these highs. And we had bullish CVD divergences here for the scalpers. You know? And now we wait. See if it can continue pushing. We have a bit of a double top here as well. Can you show your macro Elliott Wave count? Oh, I don't really have any. So I have in the past done a count from the beginning in 2010, but I've done that count when I started my Elliott Wave journey. So I don't really want to like go through it just yet because I was starting. I was a beginner. I didn't really know yet. So I do have a count there, but I now with all my knowledge I have now after a few years, I have to actually redo that chart and yeah, just have a look at it. But in general, we can be, of course, in a multi 1-2 setup, just like in an S&P where you just go higher, 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 and every dip just leads to new highs. Potentially another move up in the cycle, wave 5 and down. Or wave 5 is already in, but I think that's a bit less likely at the moment. But that's just from my head because now I know what I'm doing. So, but yeah, I'll definitely do a cycle count someday. I think that's interesting. Trading Parrot, Ben Cohen. Yeah, Ben Cohen. Exactly, Liquid Mafia. Ben Cohen, that's the dude. He is amazing. And so I don't like this guy. So I don't follow him or like watch a lot of his videos, but I used to sometimes like watch stuff because what he does, he has so many like he's like almost doing research on the chart. It's fascinating how he sometimes talk about stuff. Now I don't use indicators in my trading and stuff, right? So it's not like, but I like his way of presenting, I suppose. I'm a keynote speaker myself nowadays. I value like him speaking about the chart, being so passionate, creating his own models, systems, statistics, and all the stuff that he shows. Yeah, it's great. It's like, yeah, there you go, Ben Cohen. Yeah. Is that the new Womanizer 3? Woo, Ben? Lara from Elliott Wave Analysis is an awesome pure classic. Yeah, she is. So she even has more details on her chart. So I don't like to go as detailed as Lara because of the complexity it brings as well in explaining. So I tend to keep things a little bit more simple on the chart. But Lara is indeed an amazing Elliott Wave counter as well. And but she rarely posts. That's a pity. I would like, everyone has their own strategy, of course, I suppose. But I think it would be good to see them produce some more content for YouTube. Of course, they have a paid group and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that like nowadays on YouTube, you don't need to pay for a group to get Elliott Wave Bitcoin updates. Look on YouTube. There's great Elliott Wavers that do counts. Green Star Trading. Oh wait, well there, Tom from Green Star Trading. I think he's great. Lara's great as well, but the frequency is lacking. That's unfortunate. So I don't see the value in paying for something where you get Bitcoin counts. I mean, if I look at myself, this is YouTube. This is free. We do it 3 times a day on this channel. We go through different scenarios, and yeah. We stick to the rules, we have the probabilities, and you know, people can go through the past 900 videos on this channel and see that, you know, as the scenarios evolve, we've been more right than wrong. I've been wrong once, and I actually apologize to Discord and YouTube. So not a bad statistic in the first 900 videos, but it's always about observing the reaction if you enter an area over here, right? So we have some support, some bullish this, we have the 3 waves here. There's so much great knowledge online with different channels. From which platform you are tracking CVD? From AGGR. You can find the link in the in Discord. So Discord link is in the comments, and then you go to this channel. This is important. Many people miss the welcome stuff. First of all, read through the rules and legal disclaimer. I'll never message you. And then here in good to know, this is the place to be, guys. This is where you learn more about Elliott Waves and the AGGR website, how you install the template that I use. So this is my template, right? You can download it, you can toggle it on, and there you go. I have a 1-pager for you guys that you can download as well about how to use CVD, what is tradable, what is not tradable, you know, some of the rules and stuff for CVD that you can download here as well. So, you know, it's if you want to know more about that CVD stuff I always talk about, this is your place to be. And I have the video. You know, there's a beginner's guide on my YouTube channel, which is on the homepage, I believe, for the people going to the homepage. KG, yeah, man, would be fun to be on here sometime, or in a Discord voice chat. Yeah, absolutely. So then what we can do is we can go live on YouTube, but we'll be on a Discord voice chat, right? So that we can chat, we can talk about the charts. Like you can maybe even share your screen in Discord, and we can switch between me watching your screen in Discord and my own chart here. Yeah, that could be very interesting. Trading with H, yes, he's one of the few traders I also sometimes watch. I gotta say, I don't really follow many like trading channels with my Koenz account here, of course. So, but trading with H, you know, give him a thumbs up, give him a follow. He's a great Elliott Wave trader as well. But he also doesn't post very frequently, which is unfortunate because I think he has some good insights, some good knowledge. But 9 days ago, would be nice to see him pick up the pace again. He has some fun screenshots or thumbnails. I like his thumbnail style. But he does Elliott Waves as well. And yeah. So I sometimes watch his videos as well. He also does live streams sometimes, I believe. 7 days ago. Yeah, trading with H. Oh, shit. I just changed something. Okay, there we go. Push. Which of course is a joke. We don't trade with emotions, but at least it's moving up a little bit. It would be nice to take and hit this low. If price hits this line, probabilities go up for eventually more upside. I still would like price to eventually take the double bottom, but if we don't get it, hey, don't hear me complaining. No, we hit support over here, bullish CVD divergences then played out, so then the statistics is, you know, it's on the higher probability statistical side. We do have the bearish ones, but they came in second, so they have a lower probability. Never zero, but a lower probability. Would be nice if you look at Ethereum sometime. Ethereum, yeah. Some people say like if they use Ethereum and Bitcoin in confluence with one another. I never actually really do Ethereum. Usually, like, so actually in the the live streams and the videos, of course, I focus on Bitcoin solely. Mainly because doing Elliott Wave counts on other charts takes time. In YouTube Gold, we do because I reserve time. So then I can do a full count on, like, let's say an Ethereum or other coins as well. But it's always a bit more complex in the public stuff because of my agenda. Most of those people don't day trade. Also, when there is 3 weeks of no price action, not much to cover. Yeah, I actually like, I can imagine some people are like, you know, it's sideways price action for a long time now. There's not much to cover. But for me, I love this stuff. There's so much to cover. So I would disagree with them, for example, not with you, but I would disagree with them that there's not much to cover, because just looking at the details, right? Details over here. Move to the downside. Oh, it looks like 3 waves. Hey, probabilities go up. We might get a bounce. Look for more upside, right? It's fascinating. It's so interesting. Usually 15-minute time frame is the lowest I go. But based on, you know, each couple of hours we get new information, and with that new information we can have new probabilities, new scenarios. I love it. You need a passion for Elliott waves as well. But if you are a higher time frame Elliottian, and you usually tend to stick and count like 1 hour, 4 hour daily charts, then yeah, this is just nothing. You know, this is a blip on your chart. You don't count this. You just wait for it to move in any direction. So yeah, like alts as well. So yeah, on the channel I'm very much Bitcoin focused, unless in gold we do have alts as well. So I have done alts in the past. If we go to every Monday, we go through altcoins, so we have done quite a few. But yeah, you know, that's of course I dedicate time to that to do a solid count. And on the DXY, I've never actually done an Elliott wave count, but on the DXY, this is what I was looking for, because someone asked me recently. I actually showed this yesterday as well, which is this. Not yesterday, no, it was yesterday. So we have a couple of pictures. Yeah, you guys can see. So I didn't do an Elliott wave analysis on the DXY. I just looked at the chart because someone, and this is early June, or you can see here, right, June. So this was 2 months ago. Someone asked me, "Can you have a little look at DXY?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I can't do a solid Elliott wave because it takes time. You know, doing proper Elliott wave analysis takes time." But I had a look at the chart. I was like, oh, it might be potential 5 waves down here, looking for a 3-wave correction before more downside, which would match with the Bitcoin scenario that we have as well, for Bitcoin to first move a bit to the downside if DXY moves up, and then if DXY would move down again, then Bitcoin can move up. And then a bit later, the B changed from this low to this one, and then I thought about potentially an expanding flat. This was like a month after, because now we're getting close to August. When I took this picture, I was like, well, you know, B just changed, a bit of a longer 3-wave in B, potentially C to the upside. So the scenario didn't really change, right? Still on ABC, but B got a new low, which is also more common, expanding flat. And this is what's happening now, right? C moving up. So that's just the general idea for DXY. See you later all. Thanks, Koen. Enjoy the weekend. Trade safe. Thanks, Mark. Trade safe, man. And appreciate your being here, man. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend and your Friday, the last day of the working week. The last day of the working week. Hey, we're online now for 1 hour 20 minutes. I always plan to be online for 1 hour, right? And then time flies, and whenever I have a little bit of time to look at the clock, I'm like, oh damn, you know, because I also have some other stuff to do, especially for tomorrow, as I will leave to South Africa. Video coming tomorrow to explain what's going to happen with the updates, because I will try 1 update a day at least. So, but just so you know, for the upcoming 3 weeks, it will be a little less regularity, but I will keep up making the content. It will just be, you know, different times, probably once a day whenever I can, because I'll be on holiday and I'll be at the family of my fiance where we sleep as well. So it'd be a bit more complex, but I will definitely try. Once a day is my goal. Maybe some days I might not be able to do it depending on the planning, because we have a very busy schedule. But yeah, I'll try to do it in the mornings before the day starts. And the live streams for gold, by the way, I'll try to do that, but then it will be probably on like different times. And so, you know, don't pin me on this, but I'll make a separate video coming today for gold members and the silver members to explain what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks and how I plan to, you know, keep you up to date and do potential live streams as well. But bear with me that I might not be able to keep the consistency I've done in the past months. So, but of course, after 3 weeks, I'm back and we can go full, you know, full heart again. So, Koen, do you ever trade B or X waves? Yes, because I don't trade Elliott waves. I actually have a separate entry strategy because I wanted more than just an Elliott wave zone to trade. I have a checklist, like maybe Robot says as well, but that's an entry checklist. I have my morning routine, which I completed as well this morning, absolutely, which is also a checklist. So I have a checklist in the morning for my morning routine. I have an entry requirement checklist before I enter a trade. So I don't just trade Elliott waves and, oh, this is, you know, support area for Elliott waves. I enter. Now I want to see more. But that's just me as a person. I need a lot of structure, and yeah, it's just I developed a strategy around my personality and characteristics and my way of trading, which I will teach actually at the end of September because people have been asking. Complex B fits in your complex schedule. Yeah, absolutely. Complex shit. You inspired me to have a daily routine checklist, a trade entry checklist. Yeah. Look at me, right? I say, yo guys, I might have to go. Look at me. I'm already here for another 3 minutes. No, this is how it goes. So now my checklist is full, my daily routine checklist, because, well, I go on holiday, so I planned this. So over here, daily routine. They're actually not in the right order, so I have to change the mental prep and visualization. I have to move it down. But yeah, drink water, then I do Elliott wave analysis, recording, potentially shorts if I want to or not. Then we have the trading setup ideas in the morning. So in the morning I have trading setups that I prepare for if price gets there, which is at the bottom, which usually is something you don't see because it's all the way at the bottom. It's here, so 2, 3, 4, right? The numbers. Those are potential trading setups that I prepare in the morning in case price goes to certain areas of interest. I see what I want to see, I can enter. And then yeah, trade mental preparation, because being mentally prepared for the trading day is important. And then visualization is more like, okay, if price enters my area of interest, you know, I try to prepare visually, what am I going to be looking for? What's going to be my process, right? Okay, this is hit, my alarm goes off. What am I going to do, right, when it hits? What are the steps I'm going to take? And once I'm in a trade, what will I then do? You know, so I prepare. Preparation is 50%. Do you also meditate? I don't, actually. I've heard about meditation, but I don't know. I've never really, suppose, got into meditation yet, at least. But it's not really something I do at the moment. You seen that vampire from True Blood, Eric Northman? I think someone compared me to Eric Northman yesterday as well. I'm not sure. Okay, everyone. Be mindful of 4 p.m. because there might be volatility. When we look, quick little summary, when we look at the chart, currently the probabilities are higher for a bit of a move to the upside. If price hits this low, probabilities are going to be higher to eventually continue, but that doesn't, you know, price moves in waves. We have a double bottom here, still interesting. But this is definitely a scenario I keep an eye on. Probabilities, however, this is a trade against the overall trend, right? Or a trade. It's a potential scenario against the overall trend, as we are looking on the higher time frame for still more downside to come. But locally, this looks like a 3-wave structure. And because this looks like a 3-wave structure, probabilities are higher. All of this is corrective. And we might still look for another move up. Take this high, potentially take this one. Look for the target area here, where we also have a monthly level, 27.2K. Now the double bottom here remains interesting, depending on what price wants to do. If price goes down, it could wick here, close, move up. That's definitely something to look for, in my opinion. But yeah, this is basically what we are looking for. Probabilities are still a bit higher, as mentioned in the morning. to look for upside over here. We got some bullish CVD, so that might be nice. And then we just patiently wait and see. At 7 p.m. Central East European time, you can expect another update. So that is in a couple of hours. And yeah, then I will see you on the other side when I'm in South Africa. Tomorrow in the morning at 7 a.m., I will upload a video that I will prepare today for public YouTube, talking about the kind of like way I'm going to run the channel in the 3 weeks I'm in South Africa. So make sure to check that one out, because I will explain a little bit about what you can expect so that you are prepared, because I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to try and, you know, explain what's up. If you want to follow my trip and everything I do, make sure to follow my Instagram. The link is in the description. Because I will make many stories, and I will also, you know, talk in the stories and explain what we're doing. So cool. LJ, man, it's Central European time, Koen. Central European time, not East European time. I have to get that out of my system. Central European time. Everyone, fuck it, LJ. Everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. 7 p.m. Central European time. Ooh, almost went off there again. Update is coming. Trade safe, and we will meet again soon. Bye-bye. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, or night.